Welcome. I'm Nedra Knurk, President of Futura RGV, and we're very happy to present the candidate forum for McAllen District 4 Commission seats. And we first want to tell you that this is now being live streamed on the Futura RGV Facebook page, which is facebook.com/FuturaRGV. And after this is over, anyone can watch this forum up until Election Day on our website, which is https://www.futurorgv.org. I realize you probably, but our candidates here will probably be sharing that information with you, so you will get it. I want to also mention that the city of McAllen will be airing this on their channel prior to the election on the Spectrum cable and its streaming platforms, including the city website and mobile 311 app. Now, in addition to that, I definitely want to thank one of our advisors for Futura RGV, Stephen Wingert of the Monitor, who has graciously made these facilities available for us, along with Matt and Gabriel and Milo, who are our tech people. So thank you very much to our tech people. We do have a couple of our board members, Laurel and Rhonda Salinas and Davis Rankin over there. And so thank you for being here, board members. Now, in addition to that, I've got to thank our sponsors, our gold sponsors, Rhodes Enterprises, AT&T, Sam Garcia Architect, our silver sponsors, Frost Bank, IBC Bank, Clark Chevrolet, Valley Land Title, LNF Distributors, Rio Bank, DHR Health, Ernie Williams, and our in-kind sponsors, Copy Zone, Upper Valley Mail Service, and CSL, which stands for Crazy Stupid Live. And Milo, what is the official thing? Milo's an in-kind sponsor doing the tech work tonight. Do I have that right? Okay, very good. So now I'd like to introduce our moderator, Naxley Lopez, who is an editor with the Monitor. And Naxley will be taking over as soon as I get through here. So I will point out, and Naxley will repeat this, each candidate will have a minute and a half to introduce themselves and answer one question. Then it will be turned over to Naxley to follow up the questions. We do have one candidate, Pablo Garcia, who is going to be on Zoom because he very thoughtfully, after he was exposed to two cousins who tested positive for the virus, is not coming, and he's going to be on Zoom. Milo, is there anything else I need to say on that? We're waiting on him. So if the Zoom works out fine, we will also hear from him. If we have a problem with it, we may not. Okay, is that it? Okay. So we will hope our tech people get that taken care of. And now, Naxley, I'd like to turn it over to you and our candidates. You're on.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm Naxieli Lopez Puente with the Monitor. With me today are two of the three hopefuls for the McAllen Commission District 4 seat. We have Javier Salazar and Rodolfo Rudy Castillo. Thank you so much for joining us today. As you have already been told, you will have a minute and a half to introduce yourself and answer the following question. So here we go. Besides the people in our community, what do you see as McAllen's single biggest asset and the single greatest concern? And how would you lead to address this concern? Mr. Salazar, we'll start with you.
First of all, thank you to Futuro McAllen and the monitor for having me here. My name is Javier Salazar. I am running for City Commissioner, District 4. I was born to immigrant parents. I worked as a migrant for about 15, 17 years. I managed to get my education, and here I am, and I'm very thankful to be here. I've sat on several boards. I am a candidate with fiscal experience. Some of the assets we have in our community are, well, there's many different assets we have in our community. Education, we have STC, we have institutions of higher learning like STC, the proximity, UTPA, our med school. We also, if we're talking about business and commerce, we have the proximity of our neighbors in Mexico. We are the flow of commerce from Mexico into the US. And then last but not least, we have our faith community, San Juan Diego, San Jose Obrero community. All those are positive assets. Some of the negative things in my district are security and peace. We're hoping to, my proposal is to bring a police substation to South McAllen, put cameras, speed bumps, and hire more police officers and take care of all the crime that we're currently experiencing in my district. Thank you.
All right, and I see that we have Mr. Garcia available to us now. So Mr. Garcia, the same question to you. What do you see as McAllen's single biggest asset and the single greatest concern? And of course, how would you lead to address this concern? Oh, you have to unmute. Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia, you're on mute. Unmute. You're on. We can't hear you.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello. Hey, good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here. Due to COVID testing results, as you may know, COVID testing result delayed. I couldn't get my result this morning, so we have to take this seriously, and I appreciate it for being here in Futuro RGB. So I'm just going to be a little bit briefly with, can I get the question again, please?
What do you see the biggest single asset and the biggest single concern for the city of McAllen, and how would you address them as a leader?
Okay, first of all, I want to give a little explain of my careers and my, I have been married for almost 12 years with two beautiful children, Miranda and Rodrigo. I have business administration degree. I have more than 10 years serving and working for our community in different ways. I'm a co-founder and treasurer for a nonprofit organization. Well, I've been involved in other community organizations as well. And I'm also employed for health and human services industry and Medicaid programs. So, and just like you, I desire the best city for all families to live in. I will commit to work alongside with the rest of McAllen elected officials to improve the quality of our life. My objective is to achieve a greater investment in parks and other family recreationals, Wi-Fi parks, in cameras also, and boost and attract international investment. That is very important for me, and for the people of McAllen also. And work and continue investing and improving the city of drainage system, because there we have a little trouble in that. And work and continue investing and improving this is the main.
Mr. Garcia, I hate to interrupt, but your time is up.
Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So the next question, or the same question to Mr. Castillo. Mr. Castillo, the single biggest asset and the single greatest concern for the city of McAllen, and how would you lead?
Good evening. My name is Rodolfo Castillo. I'm a father of 3 wonderful children and a loving husband of a beautiful wife. I have lived in South McAllen for over 45 years, and I know the needs of our community. In District 4, I lived through some bad experiences, like the odors of our sewage system. Once it got hot, you would be smelling that sewage system. And our flooding of the streets, our insufficient lighting, and in the neighborhoods, Also, at one time, our crime rate was so high that you couldn't leave a bicycle outside. I could say this. I could say during the years, I've seen some change in District 4, but a lot more change has to be done for District 4. Single biggest asset. For me, the biggest asset for District 4 or for McAllen is our convention center, 174,000 square feet, where we have a lot of conventions and a lot of corporate gatherings from local businesses. And we also have more than 5,000 events a year.
Okay, Mr. Castillo, your time is up. Thank you so much. All right, for the following questions, you will only have 1 minute to answer. And so we ask that you please stick to the issues and address the questions directly. Let's begin. McAllen is a city with a budget of nearly $500 million and more than 2,000 employees. What qualifies you to lead the city? Please be specific in your answer. We'll start with Mr. Salazar.
Okay, I think I am an excellent candidate for this position because I've had years of fiscal experience. I've sat on the Development Corporation Board for many years, along the heavyweights, city commissioners like Carlos Garza, bank president, Marcus Barrera, Trey Prebley. So I come from the era where we built McAllen into what it is today. As director for the Development Corporation, we oversaw millions and millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. And I think we did a good job. The McAllen you see here today is the McAllen that is a result of the McAllen, of the Development Board, along with these heavyweights I have mentioned. So I have many years of fiscal experience, and I think I am the ideal candidate to lead our district into the future. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, the same question for you. McAllen, of course, a large budget with a lot of employees. What makes you qualified to lead the city? You're still on mute.
Okay,
There.
get it now. Okay, what qualifies me? I have one of the heaviest jobs because working for the state of Texas, it's complicated to have it all in order. So I'm the right candidate for keep this going on and working in and keep working, strengthening in industrial and commercial zones to attract more well-paying jobs, more people. So I'm committed to do all of this without raising taxes, no new taxes that we don't need, that we don't want to do, that had to happen. Sorry, and I think that's the main question.
Okay. All right, Mr. Castillo, the same question for you.
Can you repeat?
Sure, I'll repeat. McAllen is a city with a budget of nearly $500 million and more than 2,000 employees. What qualifies you to lead the city?
I guess what would qualify me is the experience I've had during the years living in McAllen with the foreign trade zone. A lot of the exports and the imports would probably help out the city more than what it is. And I think that would qualify me.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and move to our next question. Mr. Garcia did mention property taxes, which brings me to this. McAllen prides itself on providing high quality government services while maintaining a low property tax rate. But in the past decade, McAllen's property tax rate has increased about 15%, from 43 cents to nearly 50 cents per $100 of taxable property. What factors would you consider when deciding whether or not McAllen should increase property taxes? We'll start with Mr. Salazar.
Well, first of all, I think we all agree McAllen should not increase property taxes. I think the money is there already. I think perhaps it's not being appropriated properly. It's not being directed in the proper avenues. But I think the money's there. I mean, we had a budget of over $400 million, guys. You mean to tell me with $400 million, we still need to raise property taxes? I don't think so. So the money's there. I think it's just the leadership. We need someone in there that has leadership experience, money experience like myself. And, we just have to appropriate the money in the proper avenues, the proper direction. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna have a quick follow-up question for you. What areas would you be willing to cut in order to not raise property taxes?
I think we should not have to cut down on any areas, any segments of our society. I think, again, I will reemphasize, I think it's just the appropriation of where the money is being directed. I think that's the main issue here.
All right, Mr. Garcia, the same question for you. McAllen's property tax rate has increased about 15% from 43 cents to nearly 50 cents per $100 of taxable property. What factors would you consider when deciding whether or not McAllen should increase property taxes?
Okay, sorry. Am I muted right now?
No,
Are you
can
hearing
hear
me?
you.
Okay. That's why I want to be energetic in this point. For that not to happen, we need to attract and boost our international and foreign economy. We have a lot of, I have personally have a lot of good relationship with a lot of state governors, a lot of people from governor from federal government from Mexico and all of that. And I think we can attract more and more a lot of inversion for our city. And we need this to don't raise the taxes for that. I think we can work on it.
Okay. A follow-up question for you would be, how would you attract these businesses to McAllen? Would you be willing to do financial incentives?
Okay, I have been working, I'm a co-founder and a treasurer for a nonprofit organization. I have, we founded in 2014. We started this organization, and we have more than 250 enterprises and businesses there. So we have people from all over the world, and I can and I'm able to attract that business coming to McAllen. Exactly.
Okay.
That's the way I think.
All right, Mr. Castillo, the same question for you. The property tax rate in McAllen has been increasing for the past decade. It's increased about 15% from 43 cents to 50 cents per $100 of taxable property. What factors would you consider when deciding whether or not McAllen should raise property taxes?
Well, I don't think McAllen should be raising taxes. It's like Mr. Salazar said, the budget is there. People are kind of getting, tired of all these raising of taxes, but we need to investigate, see, or make it where people will know where the money is going of the taxes that are paid. And that would be something to look into and try to figure it out.
All right, follow-up question for you. Have you familiarized yourself with the city's budget and where the money is going at this moment?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay, all righty. Moving on to our next question. Recently, the District Commission changed the name of the Palmview Golf Course to Champion Lakes. Now there is talk about possibly changing the name of the Palmview Community Center, which is where voters for the District 4 race will vote on election day. Should the commission change the name of the center too? Why or why not?
I think the name should be left there, especially because it's a voting center. I think if people have always associated Palmview Library to the area where you go and vote. And then all of a sudden you change the name. I think it's probably going to confuse some of the people. I don't think it's going to be a major factor, but I don't see the need to change the name. I don't even know who came up with that or why they would even come up with that. That's just something silly.
Thank you so much. Mr. Garcia, your thoughts on the possible name change of the Palmview Community Center? Unmute.
Whether or not I think it's a good idea to change the name, because some people they get confused about hey, Palmview is related to the city of Palmview, you know. And I think it's not a major factor, as Mr. Salazar said, but I think it should change the name for something that conceptual for McAllen City. Yeah, it should.
Thank you
I
so
agree
much.
with that.
Mr. Castillo, your thoughts on the possible name change of the community center?
Yes, can you repeat the question?
Sure.
At the beginning.
Yes, so the city commission recently changed the name of the Palmview Golf Course to Champion Lakes. Now there's talk that the Palmview Community Center, which is where the voters are going to go vote on election day, could also be changed. What are your thoughts on changing the name of the community center?
Well, on the golf course, a change, I think is a good idea. On the library, which is same name, I don't know, but we've been there so long, people are in, you know, you tell them Palmview and they're gonna know where it's at. But to me, just maybe change the name of the golf course.
All right. We are going on to our next question. As a district commissioner, knowing the needs of your community is important. Can you name a time when you submitted a concern or requested a service? And if so, what was it?
Excellent question. I've been involved in my community for years, ever since I was a young man, 23 years old. Like I said, I've been involved in many of the boards in the city, Development Corporation. We bought in the Civic Center, the new police station, the Palmview Library, the other library, Lark, I think it's called, the Milagro Clinic, Vida Careers. I'm just in tune to my community because I actually live there. I mean, as far as security and peace, you know, I'm constantly calling 911 to report crime, to report all these just incidents happening. And I've always been on the forefront of my community, and I will continue to do so without fear and unapologetically. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Garcia, the same question for you. Can you name a time when you submitted a concern or a request for service? And if so, what was it?
Exactly what time, but yeah, I've been working a lot with consistency and issues with services. I'm a board member of my HOA, of my homeowner association, and we've been having some issues about, and yeah, around 2018 and 2019, we started an issue with our streets, with our problems with raising people from our street and all of that stuff. But so yeah, I've been I always been in the community for participating with the McAllen Police Department, McAllen Firefighting Association, and I'm a neighborhood watch in charge also. So we've been in constantly issues with the cities and the problems with from here.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Castillo, again, the question is, as district commissioner, knowing the needs of your community is important. Can you name a time when you submitted a concern or a request for service? And if so, what was it?
Well, one time I had a concern, this when flooding came, and we had the flooding on the railroad. It got pretty bad. Nobody, not even the PD, fire department couldn't, it's just really, really bad in that flooding. Good thing is I had a little Jeep type vehicle, and I just went down the road and started getting people out. And but that's about it, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to jump around here. I have a couple of questions, and as you guys mentioned things like flooding, it reminds me, right? Drainage is very important. So I know I have a question here about drainage. Here we go. In 2018, the commission approved a new drainage utility fee. The fee added $1.50 to the monthly utility bill for a 2,700 square foot home. What is your position on funding drainage projects with fees? Mr. Salazar.
Well, I think the main funding of drainage fees falls on the county. I know a lot of talk has been said about all these drainage improvements and all this fees going towards drainage, but I have yet to see that in my district. I mean, my district year after year floods. And so as the commissioner, I will investigate why aren't the funds getting to my district? And if they are getting to my district, why do we still have the same problem year after year? Don't sit there and tell me you fixed the drainage when our streets are flooding year after year. So whether it's a county problem or a city problem, I will get to the bottom of this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Garcia, again, what is your position on funding drainage projects with fees?
I think it's not just a McAllen issue. I think it's a county issue problem. And I think I'm gonna be working along with the county commissioners, the county authorities to get to the end of this problem. I think it is not just a McAllen issue. It's a county issue, and I'm ready to work with them and get a solution on this as soon as possible.
Okay, Mr. Castillo, same question for you.
You said excuse me, you said
Yeah,
it went up. They paid $1, how much?
yeah. So they added $1.50 to everybody's utility bill to help pay for drainage improvements. How do you feel about raising funds for drainage by raising fees?
No, they raised it $1.50. I mean, I don't see some people minding about it when things get done. But if they don't get done, $1.50 is a lot of money. So I think that would be a concern for me as I become commissioner, but we'll look into it.
All right, next question. In the mid-2000s, the city of McAllen created a downtown entertainment district centered on 17th Street. Downtown bars and restaurants have become a big draw for McAllen, but they've also occasionally caused problems. How do you think McAllen should move forward with the entertainment district?
Excellent question. I think a lot of the problems my district is seeing with the lack of police presences, if you go downtown on the weekend, you got about 30 cops. McAllen PD does not work for the business community. McAllen PD works for the whole city, guys. It's their obligation to be taking care of not just the downtown and nightlife. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have 30 cops taking care of the nightlife, and then you got districts in South McAllen with no police presence. I think there's a lack of leadership in our city, and it's as a city commissioner, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take care of things. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, the same question for you.
Tell me a question, please.
The question is, how should McAllen move forward with the entertainment district?
Okay, I think they have a lot of weaving in a lot of issues too for this, especially problem. I was thinking about it. I have a lot of stuff thinking about that. It's a deep question, but we work with the city of McAllen to take the best decision. I think one of it's to break or to spread some bars and some people, because put the people together sometimes it makes a lot of problems. So I I commit to myself to fully support our first responders with their, with what do they say? What do they need? You know, it is not just my question, my answer, and I think we should work with them first and talk about this. It's an important matter.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Castillo, how would you deal with the entertainment district and how do you think McAllen should move forward?
I mean, it is an issue because we've had a lot of, well, usually it's not really crime, but fights because it was all bars. But I think, like Mr. Salazar said, we didn't need all the police department there in 17th. We need all over McAllen. So that would be something to look at and study how we can manage having PD all over McAllen without affecting them.
All right. This next question involves elections. As you know, this is a special election, so the election day is January 22nd, but normal elections are held in May when many cities and school districts hold nonpartisan elections. Others, however, hold their elections in November when state and national races help boost voter turnout. Should McAllen continue holding elections in May, or should the city switch to November elections? Mr. Salazar.
I think that's something we have to discuss with the other commissioners as a whole. For example, in this election, I wish it would have, we would have waited till the main election. I think it would have boosted votes. It would have brought more people out. But I think, that's something where we have to get the input of not just my district, but the input of other districts and other commissioners as well, because it's something that will affect the whole city, the city as a whole. So I think that's something we have to work together as a city commission.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, what are your thoughts on the elections? Should McAllen continue to have them in May, or should they switch to November?
I'm sorry, for this special election or for?
No,
I didn't
for regular elections.
Regular elections. Why should they change the dates? Or what's the main issue with it?
So the issue is some people argue that voter turnout is higher in November.
Okay.
But of course, there are partisan elections versus May when there are nonpartisan elections. Should McAllen keep its elections in May or switch to November?
I think that's the first time that I'm I have been able to be in an election for a city commissioner. So we will have to discuss this once I be the commissioner for District 4. We will have to discuss it to the other members and commissioners, and of course our major to get to this point. Exactly. I cannot answer that question.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Castillo, your thoughts on it? Should McAllen keep its elections in May, or should it switch them to November?
Well, I think they've been in May all the time. So I think we should leave them in May. And these special elections, I mean, it would have been nice. They would have been in May. Maybe it would waste less money for the city of McAllen. But yeah, stick in May.
Stick to May. All right, thank you so much. And I believe we have some time for a couple more questions, right? All right, I'm gonna do the next one. We briefly spoke about it with Mr. Garcia, and it involves attracting businesses to McAllen, right? So to boost sales tax revenue and attract new businesses, the commission occasionally offers financial incentives to businesses. So should the city subsidize new businesses? And if so, how would you determine whether a business should receive incentives or not?
Good question. It is important. The business community is important, without a doubt. They bring in jobs. I mean, it's the basics of city economics, of local economics. I have vast experience in that, having sat on the Development Corporation. The whole purpose of the Development Corporation was to stimulate the economy. We brought in the Civic Center. We just did so much to stimulate the economy. What factors should we look at and who benefits and who doesn't? I just think we should look at what business brings a more positive effect to the community, more jobs. So I think it's just something we're going to have to look at the businesses. I mean, if you got a bar versus a family business, I mean, common sense tells you we should concentrate perhaps giving more incentives to the family business, and something that might affect our community negatively, going back to downtown. I mean, it's a high crime area. We've had not only fights, guys, we've had actually people getting raped there. I mean, if no one's talking about it, I'm going to talk about it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do a quick follow-up question for you. Are there any, I guess, agreements that were forged during your time with the, assisting the city of McAllen that you think might not have been as successful as hoped?
No. The McAllen you see here today was the result of the community years back coming together with the city government, with the Development Corporation Board. I think a lot of people don't know that the half-cent sales tax, the McAllen you see today, the McAllen you enjoy today was the fruit, is the hard work of the city commission and the public coming together as a community. And I think it speaks for itself what we have here today. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, the same question for you. Should the city of McAllen subsidize businesses? And if so, how would you determine whether or not a business should receive financial incentives?
After the pandemic problem that we always that we all have in our businesses, I think I know the problems, the real problem, because I represent an international chamber of commerce. So I think we be more specifically helping and take care of the helps of the grants and the incentives that we give to any business. As Mr. Salazar was saying, we should be like more specifically take care of that money, because it could help to others, or being exactly what kind of business are we going to help?
So I guess my follow-up question is, are you saying that the city should value its existing businesses over attracting new ones?
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Existing business, we need to keep them up, for real.
Okay, all right. Same question for Mr. Castillo. You want me to? Okay. Should the city of McAllen subsidize businesses? And how would you determine whether a business should be helped financially or not?
Oh, well, I think the city of McAllen could give some incentives to new companies from maybe the nearest Mexico. Maybe we can get more companies coming from the produce section. And I think it'll grow our economy a lot more too.
So you think that they should focus on the produce
On
and
the
that
produce.
type of import export?
Yes, on the
business.
export. Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. And I will have one more question. The city of McAllen, let me start again. Most cities in Hidalgo County contract with Hidalgo County with the elections department there to handle their elections. McAllen, however, handles its own elections. Should McAllen contract with the county, or should the city keep running its own elections?
Excellent question. I did not know that till I ran for city commissioner and I registered. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think McAllen is large enough, responsible enough to take care of its own election. I don't see the need why we should have to contract with the county. If the will, what's that saying? If the will is broken, why fix it? I don't know what that saying is. But yeah, I mean, I see no reason why we should have to contract with the county. I think it's been going well up to now. If there is a problem in the future, if some commissioner or if there's concerns raised, then perhaps we will have to turn it over to the county. But as far as, just from what I know of, I think it's going pretty well. Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, should the city of McAllen turn its elections over to the Hidalgo County Elections Department, or should it continue running its own?
I think we can continue running ourselves. We don't. McAllen is a big city. It's an improving city. It's we definitely we can run it by ourselves.
And Mr. Castillo, the
Yeah.
same question. Should McAllen keep its elections or have the county run them?
No, I think we should keep our same, like, just, yeah, keep them.
All right, I believe we're gonna do one more minute for closing remarks. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Mr. Salazar.
Actually, we do have a little time if they would like to take a minute and a half.
All right,
I think we can do that.
all right, let's do a minute and a half then.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, guys. The reason I'm running for city commissioner District 4 is because my district has specific problems that perhaps the rest of the city of McAllen is not aware of, or you might not relate to them. If you go down Ware Road, you see countless crosses of people that have been killed, guys. You don't hear about this. You have speeding cars in family neighborhoods at all hours of the day, at all hours of the night, and nothing is being done about this. Just on my street, we've had 4 or 5 mailboxes that have been run over. We have 2 children that have been run over at a school, at an elementary school, from what I've been told. Just on my street, my neighbor got killed. I've talked to people, I thought I knew all the deaths on Ware Road. I've talked to people that have said, wait, but my uncle died, my best friend died. And I was like, well, where are those crosses? There's so much crime. Our district has been neglected. I think it's time for leadership in our district. We've never had leadership, and I'm going to change things. For the first time, the city of McAllen has got to know what it's like to have a real commissioner in District 4. Thank you.
Mr. Garcia, you have a minute and a half for closing remarks.
Okay, it's a little worried about it. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I humbly ask for your support, your consideration to become your next McAllen City Commissioner for District 4. I have the experience, I have the leadership to do it. And I don't need a minute and a half for real, but some of you all already know the service that we've been doing here in the city, not only in the city, internationally, in the county, and with the government, with federal government. I've been in Washington, having some solving some issues about our community. So I really have the needs on my mind and the experience to solve it. So I humbly ask for your support and your consideration to become your next McAllen City Commissioner in District 4. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Stay safe and God bless you all.
Mr. Castillo, you have a minute and a half as well.
Well, I decided to run for city commissioner because I've seen a lot of things in our district, lived there forever. And I think what we need to do is get more people to get out and vote. We need to get the younger generation to vote because in our district, the voters are 50, 60-year-olds So we need to get the younger people to come and vote, even though they might not vote for me, but at least come out and vote for Javier or Mr. Garcia. But we need just people to come and vote.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much. All righty. Before we let you go, I want to remind you really quickly that early voting begins tomorrow. The election day again is January 22nd. That is a Saturday. And during early voting, there are 3 places you can vote. Fireman's Pump House, that's located at 201 North First Street. There's the Lark Community Center at 2601 Lark Avenue, and the Palmview Community Center at 3401 West Jordan Avenue. Thank you so much. I think that's it for me. Nedra, I don't know if you want to say a little bit, some closing remarks as well.
I always have a little bit more to say. First of all, I want to thank you, Naxley. You've done an excellent job. I'm so pleased that you were able to be our moderator. I want to thank our candidates for sharing their vision of how you would lead. I want to thank all of those people who have tuned in to this and who will be watching later for trying to learn about the candidates and their vision for leading in McAllen if they are elected. That's so important. We need leaders, but we also need people who care enough to find out what your vision is. And then, of course, I do want to thank our one of our future RGV advisors, Stephen Wingert, who very graciously has let us use the facilities here at the Monitor and the technical expertise that enabled us to get you on Zoom for one thing. So we have so many people to thank, but the biggest ones that I want to thank are all of you people who are trying to find out what our candidates believe in, what they want to do to lead our city in a new and stronger direction. And then you go out and actually vote. You exercise your ability to vote, and you're a part of the leadership of McAllen because you do vote. So thank you very much. And with that, I will say good night, and please tune in to the rest of our candidate forums, which will be going on all during January. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.